Thank you for being part of all this. Trust you're having a good time in your small group as you talk about how to build a life that is going to stand in the storms. Uh, Thinking today about do not judge or you'll be judged. Jesus says, with the measure you use, it'll be measured to you. Take the plank out of your own eye before you look to take the speck out of your other. And somehow Jesus is encouraging us to look less harshly, less critically, less judgmentally, to give the benefit of the doubt, to make allowances, to walk in someone else's shoes, to see the difficulties people have, not to be harsh or critical. And I believe that makes us better as a person when we do that. I know that one of my own failings, in particularly at home, particularly when I'm under stress, particularly things like lockdown, is just to become more and more critical of the people who are around me and close to me. And I would just encourage you to do a bit of self-examination, maybe a little bit of confession, maybe a determination to take that out of your life and to allow God's grace to come in, because that's another thing that happens when we live in this way. We release the grace of God to other people and to ourselves. Just how can we block God's grace? One is to be harsh, negative, critical, judgmental to people, because we know that when we are that God measures that out to us. There's a release of grace into our lives as we deal with this stuff. It also makes us less pharisaical. The One of the characters in the Gospels is the Pharisees, and it's such a challenge when we look at their lives and their pursuit of God and their desire to be as pure as they could be so that they would attract God's blessing, that looks very much like a traditional born-again evangelical Christian. And we just need to be very careful that our pursuit of holiness and righteousness doesn't lead us to a pharisaical, hypocritical position where we're just being negative about other people and there's a whole load of must and should and ought around our lives, whereas Jesus seemed to have a great freedom in loving God and pursuing him and eating from the tree of life, which is the third thing. Or is it the fourth? We want to eat of the tree of life, not the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We want to make ourselves better, not by putting other people down, but by knowing that we are loved by God. Not judging helps us to be useful to people, doesn't it? People don't want to come to someone to confess something or to reveal something if they think that we're going to judge them for it. And pastorally and in our small groups, we want to make sure that we have a culture of openness, a culture of acceptance, a culture of honesty, where we can really share, where we can be open about our failings and our faults in a way that people are not going to condemn us, be harsh on us, but to encourage us to do better and make those 1-degree shifts that enable us to live better for the kingdom of God. I think when we do that, we receive more of the love of God. Maybe that's connected with the tree of life thing, and it enables us to establish priorities of relationship over being right. I think over being right sometimes is overrated. What's better is being kind. What's better is being accepting, loving, caring, looking after people. You can have, all sorts of right ideas, but it's actually what we do that's much more important. And not judging people is a really important part of what we do. So there's, I think, 7 good reasons why we can take Jesus' advice seriously and not judge. And I guess the questions are all around how can we create an environment in our small group where we can do that, where we're discussing openly and honestly. How can we just know the love of God for ourselves in a way that means that we know that we are accepted and other people are accepted. We're accepted with all our faults and frailties, and others are too. How can we create who is it that we're looking to see living like this, and to just to take encouragement from others to live in a way that's non-judgmental, accepting and welcoming. Bless you as you have a good conversation around this stuff, and don't shy away from the difficult subjects around this, but about children, about employers, about your job, policemen, magistrates, judges, all of that. But make sure that we don't lose sight of the command of Jesus: do not judge, that we would be so that we won't be judged. See you in a bit. Have a great time as you talk about this stuff, and Have a good time. See you in a bit. Bye bye.